All right, Math 205 students. Uh, this is our last online lecture, which isn't going to be much of a lecture. We're just going to be talking about the final exam. I couldn't say goodbye to you um, over email. A couple of things. First, I just want to apologize. I want to apologize that your semester has been what it's been. Also, I'm assuming that instruction has been completely varied from class to class. So I expect it's been far more of a challenge than I even know. And I want to apologize because I am not one. I mean, like talking to my iPhone 7, teaching you from talking to an iPhone 7. I have completely felt off my game. Like it's just so easy in the classroom to interact. But this is what we've got. This is what we've got, and I just hope that you've learned something. I hope that it for many of you this is your last math class ever. And for my 205 students, I'm like I really want them to leave with a positive feeling and impression about mathematics in general. Because you're going to be essentially stewards of the subject, at least to your own children. So I mean, it's an amazing subject, and we didn't get to cover everything that I would like to cover, everything that we could. But please recognize the beauty and power of mathematics. Okay, we have one more evaluation, and that's our final exam. I mentioned in the email, I have been teaching since you guys were -16 or -17. I've been teaching since 1984, which just seems impossible. And in every class I've ever had, I've always given a cumulative final exam because it gives me a snapshot of what you actually understand leaving my class for the entire course. And there's several reasons for this. I mean that I ethically I've got to make a decision on whether or not you understand the material or not. And then there's other things that weigh into consideration on why I consider cumulative final exams so important. But this semester has been so strange for you. I mean, the things that you've dealt with, none of my students have ever had to deal with, at least as a group like this. The concerns about your own families and yourselves. Everything else that your summers, you're thinking about internships and other things. Everything is just so uncertain. And the idea of just adding the entire Math 205 course onto you, at this point in time, I just decided I wasn't going to do that. So it is not going to be a cumulative final exam. It's just going to be just going to be a final test. As far as the content is concerned, it's just related to the integration. It's chapter 6. It's just a chapter 6 test. Okay, so we've covered 4 and 5 on our third test. So it is just going to be a chapter 6 test. Nothing's going to change from what was in the syllabus. The syllabus is the syllabus. Okay, it will still be worth 22%. It's just not going to be cumulative. As far as timing, both of them have horrific times. Both sections have 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The test will not be a 2-hour test. It will be written much like one of our in-class tests. Okay, it will for a good student who's properly prepared, and that's the key. Who's properly prepared, it should take about an hour. It should take about an hour, maybe even a little less. On Monday is my class that typically would meet at 9:05, and on Wednesday is my class that would typically meet at 10:10. And just like our other 3 tests, you can expect about 30% of it to be related to theory. We derive things. We derive flashcards. We talked about theorems and other things. And some things I can't ask you to prove the fundamental theorem of calculus, but there are key points in that argument that you should know. And that might show up in like a true-false question or having to show a small thing. You're going to want to read your notes. You're going to want to look at your homework. Just like you got ready for the test that we had last Friday. I've put your grades up on Canvas. I think most of you know that now. As far as the layout of the course, as far as like your evaluation, what I want you doing is you can just look at the syllabus. It's all the percentages are laid out there as far as like what counts. And I know you guys care primarily about grades, but I care far more about what you understand. I care far more about what you understand and what grades you've gotten. You know, I mean, there are a lot of people who've learned nothing in classes and gotten a good grade, and I'm hoping that's not this class. Okay, 55% will be similar to the homework kinds of things. Now this could be a little more calculational, so I'm letting you guys having a handheld calculator only. You're allowed a handheld calculator only, and because it's online, I'm allowing you to have open homework. Okay. You won't need your limit tools, and you won't need your property of the reals. So you're only allowed open homework, and a handheld calculator, It will be 50% by hand and 50% by WebAssign, okay? 50% by hand and 50% by WebAssign. Both WebAssign and the handwritten will open at 7:50 and close at 10 on those exam days. Okay, it'll open at 7:50 a.m. and close at 10 a.m. If you have an access plan, I've got those. Then just do the WebAssign first. Get that in. It just makes the technical stuff much less difficult. And then just work on your handwritten component, and then submit that in the extra time that you're allowed. Okay, I've been struggling with Apple Pictures, so do not send me an Apple picture, okay? Because it's taking me an extra 30 minutes just to navigate how to convert that into something my computer can read. So I need you to either submit a PDF. This is ideal, or a JPEG. And those links that I sent, I mean, you can work right off your Notes app and then turn it into a multi-page PDF pretty simply. Okay. What else is there in here that I'm missing? I guess that's most of it related to the final exam. I mean, like I said, it's the integration stuff that we've covered. So I don't think you'll be totally in shock by it. I know you've got a lot of other tests that you're getting ready for also. Okay, so then I guess maybe one thing I haven't been an academic that's been always successful. I mean, especially when I was a kid. I mean, I knew nothing but really academic struggles. I mean, with like around a 2.0 high school grade point average and other things. I've had a very non-traditional path to being your math teacher, being a college professor for you guys. Once you're my student, I want to make it clear that you're always my student. Okay, I have a lot of students that haven't done well, and yet when it's homecoming, we'll get together. I mean, I do not judge you as a human being by your math ability. Okay, I've had students that I've gotten A's, have given A's to. Okay, that if I saw them walking down the street, I wouldn't even cross the street to shake their hand, just because they use their gifts for evil, not good. They use things to hurt people, not help people. Okay, so I mean, you may not get the grade you want. You may not get the grade you want in the class, but please understand that you know, I mean, once you're my student, you're always my student. And you wouldn't think like a college campus where there could be 20,000 people, not this semester, but could be a lonely place. And you're like, okay, we got all these kids, 18 to 22, and there's thousands of them. This should be, everybody's saying this is going to be the best time of my life. I mean, I have known times in my life where I've struggled, and I just want to put it out there that the last thing I want is any of my students being in a place where they can't feel like they can't reach out to somebody. I have a futon in my office, and I've been teaching, like I said, for a long time, and I can't tell you how many students have sat there and told me things with real life issues. real life issues. You know, I mean, I don't know if they trust me, but they come in and they'll talk. And I do not have solutions. I mean, I don't have solutions. I just let people talk, you know, because oftentimes I think communicating struggles, you often work through them at times to your own solution. And I'll take you by the hand and take you places. But I need you to promise me that if you're in a dark place, you know where my office is. Okay, you come and see me. You come and talk to me. Okay, because you know, I mean, yeah, and I mean, somebody came to Henry Ford. I know I'm rambling. Somebody came to Henry Ford, and they were like, you know, Mr. Ford, you're this highly successful person, probably like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates are to our generation, my generation. You know, but he goes, I don't think you're that smart. I just think you were lucky. And what Henry Ford said to the young reporter was, you know, young man, you can ask me any question that you want, and I have somebody in my employ that can answer your question. And I was thinking, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that is real power. That is real power. You know, he's exactly right. You know, he doesn't have to have all the answers. He has somebody who he's paying who does have the answer to any question that anybody could ask. You know, and I do believe at that time he did. And I kind of, I mean, not that I'm Henry Ford, but I feel much the same way. I may not be able to solve your problem, but chances are I've got a buddy who can solve your problem. Okay, I've been fortunate enough to have enough friends that I feel like you can almost bring me any question, and I know somebody to point you to. Okay, so I mean, especially in these times, which are hard times, I don't want you thinking that you're ever on an island by yourself. Okay, so I want you getting ready for your test. Do not walk into this thing thinking that, oh, it's not cumulative. I don't need to study, okay? Because you would be in a boat without oars heading over waterfalls. Okay, let me go with that again. Boat with no oars heading over waterfalls. You want to come in ready. You want to come in prepared. All right. Thank you for putting up with me this semester. Thank you for putting up with all of this. And again, I apologize. I mean, I can't even send you stuff in 1080p. I've got to send it in 720p. But somehow you managed to navigate, and somehow you managed to be successful. So thanks for being my student. And I hope to see you all again sometime. Bye-bye. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to mention. There's course evaluations. If you could, they're online. So if at some point in time, if you could fill out those for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Almost forgot that. All right, now, bye-bye. Thanks, guys.